Oops. Welcome to the Lift Heavy Run Long podcast, episode number 158. You can find us at www.liftheavyrunlong.com, on Twitter and Instagram at liftrunlong. Also, feel free to email me directly at the address wilson@liftheavyrunlong.com. Please subscribe to our YouTube channel and leave us a 5-star review on iTunes. If you're not a member of our Facebook group, you should be, because we want you to be there. Search for Lift Heavy Run Long Community and request to join right now. My name is Wilson Horrell. I am one of your hosts. I'd like to remind you that the Lift Heavy Run Long podcast is not censored, so listen at your own risk. Lift Heavy Run Long has an app, and we want you to be on it. For $3.99 a month, you can be part of that app, and you will have access to the greatest endurance trainer in the world, Ms. Valerie Hunt of RunRx.fit, and she will deliver to your calendar 3 bodyweight workouts every week, 4 barbell strength exercises, and 4 daily WODs. For $9.99 a month, you can have access to all the programs that Lift Heavy Run Long has to offer, everything from 5K programs to 100-mile programs to triathlons to Spartan races. If you or someone you know believes that fitness would enhance the quality of your life, but you don't have $3.99 to spare, then please email me at wilson@liftheavyrunlong.com. We'll be happy to add you to the app free of charge. Go to liftheavyrunlong.com.
The air's on.
Oh, the air is on. Click the sign up now button. Take a look at all of the programs. Pick one that you like. Put in your email address, and you will be added to a free week on the LHRL app on us. No commitment, no strings attached. We don't even keep your email address and send you stuff because of that.
That's great.
This is great. This episode's like dogs and cats living together. It's just mass chaos.
Which one's the dog and which one's the cat?
That's a Ghostbusters reference.
Who's
Dogs
Tom?
and
Who's
cats
Jerry? Let me turn this thing off.
Turn that thing off while I mention that we are also a Driven Nutrition affiliate.
Oh.
And you can go to LHRL. You go to your little browser, and you can type lhrl.life/driven. And it'll take you to a page where if you purchase anything from Driven, it will help us.
Nice.
Jason, the owner of Driven, texted me on the way out last week, and he said, "Hey man, can I send you a banner to hang up on your podcast?" I was like, "Hell yeah, send a banner." We'll hang it up.
All right.
I thought that was pretty cool that he was actually watching, and he was like, "Hey, can I send you a banner?" And that was awesome.
Very nice.
We like swag.
You know what else we like? I like anyway.
Reviews.
5-star
I like
review.
the lady sitting to my right, Jack and Tan. Dr. Amanda Kimsey
I feel
Horrell.
like you baited us into an answer there.
How are you?
Hey, I'm doing well. How are you?
I'm good. What's new?
Not much.
Tell
Just
me about yourself.
work and play.
Work and play. You had a play weekend this weekend?
I did. I went to New York.
Uh-huh.
New York.
That was interesting.
Uh-huh.
It was an experience to have.
Yep.
Well, the experiences are good.
Yeah. It was different. I would not live there.
You don't think?
No.
I couldn't handle that.
Absolutely
I don't know
not.
that I could live there long term, but I'd love to try it for like a year.
I thought I would like it and went up there and
I get it, like, because I mean I only spent like maybe a week there, not even that long, I don't think, 3 or 4 days, and it's definitely more than we're used to.
oh yeah. I'd like to go back one more time and hit like Rikers Island, Statue of Liberty, Chinatown, stuff like that, but then be done. I don't see how Jeremy Christopher went up there and did that, but
And they live the
they
life.
love it.
They're
They love
always
it up
doing
there. They're always doing something. Him and Christy are all around.
You know where I want to go, and I think about it all the time.
Kokomo?
To my to my recliner. That's all. That's the
I
only
was gonna
place I
say
ever want
the
to go
couch.
is to watch Netflix and play on the computer.
I did get to see Barry Manilow, though. That was the goal.
Well, tell us about that.
Bucket list
How did
item
that
checked
go?
off.
Yeah, checked off. Heard him sing Mandy live. Dad always played that record for me when I was little, that song, and told me that was about me. So I got to hear the man sing it out of his mouth.
Nice.
Yep.
Awesome.
To Amanda's right, we have the Reverend
I'm sitting here.
Von
To
Rawls.
Amanda's right.
I really dig the black shirt, man.
Good. Thank you.
It needs to become a staple.
I kind of blend right into the couch.
Yep.
Yeah. So nobody can tell how skinny
You're
I
one
am.
step closer to being Steve Jobs right now.
Yeah, I am. And we have so much in common.
Not really. I
Me
mean,
and Steve Jobs.
next thing you know, he's going to start wearing his glasses all the time. That'll put him another step closer. And then it's going to be winter, and he's going to be like, you know what? I wore a black turtleneck today.
Von,
And then the transition will be complete.
I wear a turtleneck.
he'll transition into it by wearing a dickie first for a couple weeks.
Do me a favor and just punch me when I do that.
You're doing better than Steve Jobs is at the moment.
All right. That's true.
The best looking cameraman in the business, Big Thirsty Brian Swanson.
What's up?
How are you?
I am good. Can I just give you props real quick at how much I'm enjoying your "We're about to go live" posts each week here lately?
I'm glad that
you're getting more and more clever with those. Like, and of course, some of them involve me, and I think that probably helps my ego a little bit. But
Well, good. I'm glad that helps. You know, because there's always that concern. You know how I am. There's always that concern. Like maybe he won't think this is funny, or that.
What
you know.
post?
well, like what he
Obviously,
says, Lift Heavy Run Long, number 158 will be live at 7:10 p.m. where we
Uh-huh.
talk about Big Thirsty's recent trip to Africa, where he had the opportunity to hunt rhinos, giraffes, and elephants.
Oh.
It's funny. And then
I'm
two or
hilarious, man.
2 or 3 weeks ago, we talked about that we were going to talk about how I did in Event 3 at the games. You know, I can't remember what last week's was, but I cracked up pretty
You're
hard
the
in the middle
most
of the show.
interesting man in the world.
I think we were live from Little Caesar's Palace talking about Grecian theory and Roman something or other. Whatever's on there is not going to be what we're doing, but finding trigger topics is a good thing in hopes of maybe us.
So we're talking about politics again.
Got to do a shout out to my chiropractor, Dr. Brad Cole.
Yeah, man.
He walked in the room, and I've never talked to him about our podcast or our brand or anything. And he's like, "So how often do you podcast?" I was like, "Oh, every Thursday." He's like, "Really, every Thursday?" I said, "Yes." And he said, he goes, "Well, I'll have to check that out." He goes, "Where can I find it?" And I was like, "Well, you can go to YouTube and watch it, or you can go to iTunes or any platform that has podcasts and find it there." And I was like, "It's called Lift Heavy Run Long." He's like, "Oh yeah, I'm familiar with the brand." Okay.
Oh, yeah, you don't have to tell me.
Yeah, I was like, "Well, okay."
I already know.
So that's
yeah,
awesome.
I would have bet money that he had been a guest on this show. So
We need to get him out here.
When that conversation happened in our little group, I was like, he must have been trolling her because he's been a guest before, but obviously not. I'm wrong.
No,
I've never met him.
we need to get him out here.
Oh,
I
he's
thought you
super
had. He
good
was
people.
at the gym for.
He's
been
shown up
on-
to like Gus, like when we did a fundraiser for Gus a few years ago before Gus went to the games.
Maybe I
I
have.
think
met
he
him.
came to our grand opening like years
Maybe I
ago.
have.
He came to the grand reopening.
And then we saw him at when we had the tent at the start to finish. thing.
Yep. Performance lab.
Yeah.
I was born without face and name recognition features, so I can't meet somebody and really remember them until I meet them about a dozen times.
Mine is broken out of context. Like, if I know you at the gym and I see you at the gym, then I know your name. If I see you in the grocery store, I have no clue who. I know you, but I don't know why I know you or what your name is.
Do you ever look at someone and think, I think I know that person, and then you do know that person, but you stare at them so long you convince yourself that you don't know that person. That
I've
it
never
can't be them.
convinced myself that I don't know that person.
My brother was backpacking in Europe, and he saw my cousin there.
Oh, wow.
Just a total coincidence, and
Yeah.
they were just both like, that's just too odd. Like, it can't be. And it was. She broke the ice.
I do that like in the grocery store and stuff because I'm used to everybody wearing scrubs at the hospital, and then I'm like, when they're out with real clothes on, I'm like,
Yeah, that would be different.
it's like picture you in scrubs for a second. I think I know you. Are you in surgery?
It's
Okay.
really weird at the gym, and you see people all
Oh yeah.
like I will not recognize people.
I had a deal with Carol. If I walked up to somebody and was like, "Hey, man, have you met my wife, Carol?" If I didn't say, "Hey, Carol, this is Wilson," But I said, hey, man, have you met my wife, Carol? She had to ask them what their name was because I couldn't remember.
Yeah, that's good.
So I'd be like,
normally
have you
what
met my wife,
happened-
Carol? You know, and Carol would be like, oh, hey, nice to meet you. What's your name? You know, be like, oh, and they would be like, you know, oh, my name's Wilson. Oh, yeah, I'm sorry, Wilson. Yeah, this is Carol. You know,
Nice.
It's perfect that y'all had that lined up ahead of time.
Yeah.
People that introduce other people and don't do that or don't like bait into the
Yeah.
getting their name are just bad people to be around in social situations.
Well, normally people will say, like, if you go, hey, man, it's great to see you. Hey, this is my wife, Holly. Normally what happens after that is, hey, nice to meet you. My name is
right.
whatever.
And if that's it, yeah, if that happens, fine. But if that didn't happen, then Carol would be like, I'm sorry, what was your name? You know, like,
Right.
and then I would just be like, oh, my bad. Yeah, this is Wilson. Or this is, you know.
But
She
I try to avoid meeting people altogether. So.
She was so awesome at it. We got, you know, over our 15 plus years together, we got really good at, because she would do the same thing to me, like if she saw somebody out. So,
Holly just posted that Gavin May introduces himself every time we meet like they've never met. Oh, Gavin.
Is anybody listening?
yes,
People watching?
Yes.
I've got a question.
7 watchers.
We got 7, yeah.
I got one of those.
2 of which are
I got who else? 4 and Steve.
and Steve and Holly.
I got one of those light tickets where they take a picture of you
Yeah.
breaking the law. Do you have to pay those?
I don't think you do.
I read where you don't.
So here's the
read the
deal.
same article.
That is actually outsourced to a third-party company. It is not a moving violation. It cannot go against your driving record, but it is. My understanding is it's still somehow money owed to the state. So like, there are other things that it could screw you up on, like applying to a state college. Like you might have to like pay that fine before you're accepted into the like. You know what I mean? Like
Yeah, interesting.
weird things like that they could tie it back to. Like they know that you have that outstanding
Well,
on your
then
record.
can they tack interest on that? Like, oh, you haven't paid this in 4 years. So,
My understanding's no, but
okay.
I'm not a lawyer.
Do you? Let me ask you another question.
It's not a moving violation, though. I know that.
If you get a $27,000 hospital bill from Canada, does that go against your record?
Say
asking for a-
hypothetically,
I'm asking for a
Asking
friend.
for a
you were going to go to the woods in a foreign country
And get rando.
Get around though.
and urinate blood.
Because it's still on my kitchen counter. I don't know what to do with it.
That is one of those things that you don't just want to throw it away, but
Yeah, I can't throw it away.
you're also not going to, grab a pen and write the
well,
check.
let me just write you a check.
Well, is Canadian hospitals like it is here? Well, they will let you pay a very, very small amount.
I have no idea. I only got that one correspondence from them, which was a envelope with a stack of bills this high.
Well,
That's all I got.
as long as you're not planning any near future trips to Canada, I think you're good for a minute.
I think I'm safe.
You have time to figure out whether or not it's an issue.
I think so.
Wilson wouldn't be going back to Canada, most likely, would be the drill there.
If-
But I think I would send an amount. I don't know what that. I would pick my own amount.
So
Whatever was agreeable
if
with
it's
me.
$27,000, like
$2.
$123, I would
$27 a
send
month.
$27.12 a month.
Yeah.
in 1,000
1,000 years from now,
1,000 monthly payments, I will send you $27.12.
they'll build a library in his name.
Well, I
There'll
know in the U.S., as long as you pay something, they can't
They
do
can't,
anything
yeah, they
to
can't.
you.
They can't go against your credit.
Yeah.
Just send them $1
Yeah.
every day.
So keep that in mind next time you're going to get rhabdo. Do it in the United States, and you won't have any problems. with it.
Yeah.
Oh, Dan's Wolf's got a good question. Is that Canadian dollars or American dollars?
That is Canadian dollars, yes, sir.
Oh,
so actually,
wow.
it works out
Let's-
to about 22,000.
So
I
they're-
thought Canadian was more. Have they?
No.
reversed?
Ours is more, so it's a lot less.
Yeah, it's currently
The-
as of today, it's $20,285.10.
the yen has deflated. What is Canadian money called?
It's called a dollar.
Oh, well.
I thought you were going to say something stupid like euros or something. Well, it's
Francs.
like,
Whatever
okay.
you say, I'll go with.
Well, be like, oh, okay.
Rupees.
Rupees.
Is rupees a currency?
Russian.
Okay. Yeah.
Oh, I thought that was the
Is Russian
Zelda- I
really a
thought that
place?
was
I just
the-
thought it was in video games.
I thought that was the Legend of Zelda.
That's exactly what I was thinking. That's exactly what I was thinking.
Where you used to collect those
was the
little
Legend of
rupees? Weren't they called
Zelda.
rupees? What are
Yeah.
they called?
I thought
And
they
you
were
collected-
rubies.
What?
I thought you just collected rubies. I
Maybe
thought
the
they were called
graphics were
rubies.
so bad it looked like it said rupees.
I don't know.
Oh, they were. Legend of Zelda's Secret Rupees.
Okay, I thought it was
It's
rubies.
spelled exactly the same way.
Yep.
So
see?
apparently Zelda was secretly a Russian infiltration game.
That's why we all voted for Donald Trump. Because when we were in 7th grade that summer, we just played rupees all day long.
Did you beat Ganon?
I don't know Ganon.
He's the last person. in
Oh, well,
Legends of
yes, I
Zelda.
did it. That's all I did. That summer before my 7th grade year, all I did.
And
And
you
I
remember-
think I said this last week. I called the 900 number. And
That's what you
Yeah.
had to do. You had to go
Yeah.
to school, and your friends would be like, "You got to take a right here, and then take a left and move that rock." And
well,
you know,
I wasn't
trying
in
to-
school, so it was the guy on the phone I was talking to.
And then
Which is
Nintendo
weird.
Power, the magazine Nintendo
Yes.
Power would
Yes.
give
that
tips
cheat codes and stuff.
Yeah.
tricks. Like, and now, you know, you don't even have to play the game. You just enter a cheat code, and
You don't play games anymore. You watch other people play games on YouTube.
you really do.
That's the craziest thing I've ever seen.
It's
I
insane.
met a guy
Here we
this
are
past-
hoping people will sit down and just watch us talk, and we're saying that it's crazy that
Well,
people
see,
would sit down and watch somebody
maybe
play
what we
the
need
game.
to do, maybe what we need to do
What
is start
kind of
Twitch
loser?
streaming it.
You think that would help?
You think we should go on Twitch? I thought Twitch was dead. Didn't it die?
What is
Oh
that?
no, Amazon bought Twitch. That's how gamers stream their actual game. So you
Oh.
can stream just your game screen. You can stream like picture in picture, like webcam pointed at you while you're playing the game, so you can talk to people like about what you're doing. Also, and people make a living as Twitch streamers. And I met a guy this past weekend who is doing exactly that.
I just saw on Twitter.
He's not making
earlier-
a good living at this point, but he's on his way to making a good
Oh,
living.
I just saw earlier this week on Twitter they were saying Twitch is finally dead or something like that.
No, far from it.
It's crazy though. People
Amazon
like
bought it.
at work are saying
That
their
happened
kids
this
want
week?
to grow
Yeah.
up to be a YouTuber. Like that's a
Yeah.
a goal in life now.
Yeah. I think I would probably be that kid. I mean, here we are, spend a lot of time putting stuff on YouTube.
Right. We got 900
Weekly pop.
subscribers.
Podcast.
They're going to send us a plaque
I
at
should-
some point.
I showed Grayson and Andy our subscribers, and they just busted out laughing because the
They're like, "That's cute, Dad."
the Janny Longstocking girl or something Longstocking that they watch has 13 million.
Right.
And then there's like Ninja, the Fortnite guy.
Oh yeah.
He will be playing his game. This is what he does. He plays Fortnite and talks to people, and you can hear his bankroll going cha-ching, cha-ching. He's
Yep.
like, thanks,
People
Bob.
are tipping him.
Thanks, number
Yep.
8.
People are tipping
whatever.
him. While,
People
while-
tip you while you play
while
a
you're-
game.
Yeah.
Like they give you actual money.
Yes.
Yeah,
yes.
you can hear it. Like,
Yeah,
Cha-ching,
it's a
cha-ching.
thing.
Oh my goodness.
Yeah,
Yep,
that's
it's
the
a thing.
life.
That's what I'm telling you.
I
Like
went
there are
to
people
school for
making
8
a
years.
living doing this.
and then remember we had that
I went
guy-
to school for 12.
Remember we had that guy on the show that had a couple
He was the
million
Yeah.
nutrition guy.
Yeah.
subscribers, and he was saying that like once you get to 1 million, YouTube sends you a representative and they tell you what you're going to do next week, and they're like, okay,
Yeah. So
This
once
video
you
does really
once
well,
you get
so-
to 1,000 subscribers, YouTube lets you monetize it, is my understanding. And then I think, like you said,
well,
it's like
why
1 million.
we need 100 more.
Nobody's going to subscribe to this thing.
They do. Well, 900 people did.
We've been doing it a long time.
All right. So forget 5-star reviews.
I
now
sure
we
am
need you to ask your
pessimistic
friend.
about things.
Ask
Vaughn's
your
like
friends.
super optimistic about it.
I try to be.
Look,
I mean, if
before
we can
go,
make- if we
let's get them to leave reviews before we try
If
to
we
push
can,
them off.
if we
the
can
house.
make
Nobody- That's not
gonna
$27.12 a month off
We
of
can
YouTube,
pay-
we
I
could
could pay
make
my
his
house
for
monthly
Vaughn's
payment.
Rhabdo.
We could pay for his Rhabdo
We've
bill.
been begging people to make reviews for 2-3 years now.
Yeah.
Let's work
And
on
we've got,
YouTube
what, 5
subscriptions.
reviews?
That or we can set up a
Because-
GoFundMe for Vaughn.
We could do that.
Holy shit! We would raise like $1 million for Vaughn.
Do that. That'd be
Vaughn's
about
I've
it.
been tempted to
Vaughn has
set up
to
a GoFundMe for my student loan payments.
should
Anybody out
do
there
that
that just wants to
too.
give money to help pay my student loans
I thought
off?
we were going to forgive all those
Fantastic.
if we elect Bernie.
I'm in 10 years forgiveness program.
Wow.
So I'm praying that none of the presidents knock it out, because that would really suck.
What does that mean?
After 10 years and all my payments are qualified payments of 10 years, then I submit forms to see if the government will forgive the rest of what I owe.
Oh, really?
But right now I pay
I didn't
more
know that was a thing.
on my loans than a normal loan payment would be, because I'm planning on getting some of it chopped away.
So
after 10
agreeing
years.
to do that means that you're going to pay a certain percentage of your income
Yeah.
to that debt. Whereas otherwise you can pay a much smaller chunk for a
over
longer
like 30
period of
years
time.
or whatever. Yeah.
So there's a give and a take there,
So
but it's a good deal.
Would you be mad if a president came along and said, "I forgive all student loans"? I don't think anyone would ever do that, but.
I mean, I'd be
What if-
grateful, but it can be frustrating, as I probably paid more than a lot of people are
Oh,
paying.
you're saying you already paid too much money if that happened to be like, damn,
Yeah, I pay quite a bit.
I should have just paid the
So
lower amount.
talking about Canada, Chase or Capital One, they have been trying to get out of having credit cards in Canada, and they figured out that instead of stopping to offer new cards and not letting people make charges and waiting for people to pay them off, it was easier just to forgive all the debt.
Really?
They did. Seriously, they did. Like like I said, I can't remember if it was Chase or Capital One, but every card holder in Canada had all of their current debt forgiven.
Why? Why did they do this?
Because they wanted to get out of the Canadian market. And
Oh.
It was cheaper than them trying
Oh.
to put it into
Trying to
collections
collect all that money.
and
Yeah.
doing all the stuff. It was cheaper
Wow.
just to write it off.
Forget about it.
Yeah, at one
And so
point
there
in my
were-
life, I felt like that only paying some of the bills, it was just easier to not pay any of them. So I can relate to kind of the same strategy.
I've been there.
There were some people, they got a couple $100, but the article that I read, the biggest one that they had found that had come forward was like a $15,000 credit card bill that
Was
just
it
got forgiven.
Was it a trail runner or somebody that lifted real heavy or something like that? I don't know. I tried to relate it back.
No, sorry, we were talking about Canada and we were talking
I know.
about debt
Remember
forgiveness.
the guy that said we never talk about running? And we haven't mentioned either of those things.
I feel like I don't need to apologize. I don't guess I've ever made fun of, well, I did write a dumbbell article about it, but have you ever drank water from a gallon jug?
I'll say yes, I have, but I can't tell you when the last time was.
The
I don't-
gallon jug
I've never-
water drinker.
I know, but I've never drank water out of a gallon jug.
It is highly efficient.
Oh.
You can drink a ton of water out of a gallon jug. A ton more.
Well, you could drink a gallon of water out of a
Okay, so
gallon jug.
let's get back to the
Yeah, right. You can drink exactly 1 gallon of water
Right.
at a time.
exactly. That sounds like something I would say, Vaughn.
Depending on the size
how
of the
you
gallon.
influence me.
Why are you apologizing?
You made fun of the-
I've made fun of people drinking, carrying
Like
around
at the gym, they're carrying the.
and
gallon
I'm not
jug.
doing that.
And so you tried it?
I just had a gallon jug from. I ran last weekend and I bought a couple.
You
of
ran
gallon-
with a gallon jug.
Yeah. So I had these leftover gallon jugs, and I'm just laying around on the couch and, eating a bunch of pizza and sodium.
Okay.
And I thought I'd need some water.
So you filled
And
up.
so I was
on it.
like, gluk, 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 gluk.
So the
I drank like 2/3 of a gallon. Was like, holy mackerel, that was easy.
Is the efficiency in not having to get up as often, or is the efficiency actually in the
It's
drinking part?
fast.
It's-
I
you
mean,
can
it's
drink it
it's like
faster?
fun. It's like the efficiency
funneling
of
it.
trying to chug a beer versus funneling a beer.
So did you like punch a hole in the top?
Pretty
of
close. I mean, you could hear it.
Because
was,
I have drank.
it was intense.
I've drank out of something like that before, and it's always funny because the milk cartons are super flimsy material, and so because there's no way for the air to get back in it when you turn it up, like it starts to like cave in on itself as the water's. You know what I'm talking about?
Mm-hmm.
So I guess I've done that before because I have a memory of that.
That's kind of like talking about lifting and running.
Yeah, it
Does
is.
that qualify?
You ran and then you drank out of a
Made
gallon
that
milk jug.
segue
Right.
Well,
I've got a legit question that has to do with weightlifting. Have y'all seen those videos of the 86-year-old man, 84-year-old man that's deadlifting 400 pounds?
Yeah.
Yeah,
Is that Dr. Romanoff? Is that the pose method guy?
I don't
I
believe
don't think so. I feel like I would know that
Really?
if that was.
But
the
now
case.
that you say that, he does look like him.
I swear I think the guy's name was Romanoff. I don't know
hold
what
on,
he looks
because
like.
I posted it in our Slack group.
I thought that would be
I
nuts.
just got to scroll back and find it.
can't be.
Which might take a minute.
I don't know why I'm saying it can't
Who
be.
is Dr. Romanoff? 'Cause
Romanoff
people
is the
might
pose method guy.
I know,
Oh, sorry.
People may not know.
Sorry.
You should have recorded that.
Brian's like, you idiot.
No, I wasn't.
Vaughn teaches seminars on the pose method.
I have.
Who the fuck is Romanoff?
While you're looking that up, I have a potential guest that I've asked to try to find some time on her schedule to come here. It's a coworker of mine that she's lost over 100 pounds.
She sure enough has.
She has a really good story. I started asking
Wow.
her story today, and it was really good. So I'm really
Bring
excited
her
about
in.
bringing
You
her
think
on
you
here.
should you tell that part of the story that you told me a little while ago about how she?
Like her light bulb moment?
Yeah.
So she was, I don't know how much she weighed, 300. Anyway, she had a friend that was the same size that they went to buffets. Like their thing was going to buffets together and eating food. And they were having a conversation one night, and her friend was already diabetic and with a insulin pump. And she was like, well, when you get insulin, when you start on insulin, and she's like, whoa, I'm not going to start on insulin. And she's like, oh yeah, all of us, you'll get it. You have diabetes, so you're on your way to getting an insulin pump and stuff. And she's like, that was it. That's all it took was her telling me I was going to be on insulin. She's like, I'm not going on insulin.
Isn't it amazing what one thing, like one trigger, can do to completely turn your life around
Yes.
and make you do?
That is
And
crazy.
that's why I'm always talking about, like, trying the weight loss challenges or trying, all these things that typically don't work, because you never really know, like, when it's gonna, what you can grab to make it work. When I quit smoking, I was trying to stop smoking. I was wearing patches and chewing gum, and I was intent on stopping, but I couldn't really do it. And then one day at work, my patch rubbed off, and I didn't know when it rubbed off. So I was like, man, maybe I've been nicotine free for 4 or 5 hours for all I know.
Huh.
And I went to a 12-step meeting, and I was talking to a guy at the meeting, and he said, my sponsor says if you're spiritually fit, you can quit smoking using the program. And I was like, fuck your sponsor. I'm going to show you how spiritually fit I am. Like, I'm spiritually fit as shit. And I'm going to show you that.
We need
And
a
that was
t-shirt.
that was the last.
We need a t-shirt with
That was the last cigarette I ever smoked.
Fuck.
Fit as shit.
I'm fit as shit.
I've never smoked after
That's a
that.
great shirt. I would wear that shirt.
Spiritual as fuck.
It's a whole. Somebody's stealing that idea right now.
Chris Perry's already
Chris
on
Perry,
the.
get me one.
Yep. He's making them right now.
Spiritually fit.
Speaking of Chris Perry,
Shit.
I'm supposed to get him sizes. I need to order more shirts, but man, it's a pain in the ass to go through and figure out inventory. How many you need to get.
Oh.
Just 10 each.
But it doesn't work like, it's only like medium and larges that get
Okay,
sold.
10 of each of those, and they're good.
That's probably what I should do.
10 each of the popular ones, 5 each of the not popular ones, and you're done.
That's still expensive. That's a ton of money.
Well, then don't do it.
Okay. I just needed somebody to tell me.
I
not
mean,
to do
hey,
it. That's what I was looking for.
Nobody is gonna. I mean, if it meant that much to me, I would do it myself.
Like
You know
you
what
need
I
to have
mean?
like a bar level, and once that par level, and once that par level drops below whatever, like after you have two, if you have 2 larges left or whatever, you need to buy.
I already
5
did
more.
that.
She's
but it didn't
speaking
work.
from how they control drugs.
Yes,
In-
I am with our Omni cells.
Don't you try to
We have
talk to
a-
me like an intelligent person.
I feel like
I know what you're
I
doing.
feel like you can
I heard
switch-
par level, and I knew she was at work.
You can switch to like a fulfillment service where they'll do that for you, and it won't matter, right?
That's where most of our stuff is, through a
well,
fulfillment
why
service.
do you have to worry about it?
Because fulfillment services, it's hard to make any money on fulfillment services.
Gotcha.
Oh, yeah.
Especially when you're like me, and every time somebody has a problem, you're like, let me just send you another one.
What about Wolf? He wanted those shirts. Did you ever get those?
That's one of the reasons why I got to get the.
Because he just said he needed
there
extra
you go.
fat blue
We
and
need
black.
that dude wearing shirt. People that want to rock the shirts need to have the shirts.
Yeah.
I know,
So-
but I can't find the motivation to get the sizes. Is what I'm telling you.
Well, I don't know.
Steve said we can't afford the shirts because we have to pay Vaughn's medical bills.
No,
all
we don't. Nobody has to pay
proceeds,
my medical bills.
$2 from every shirt will go to
I
Vaughn's
don't even.
medical bill.
There you go. If you buy a red one, $2.25. So
Why don't we, after this is over,
It
we'll
is.
all get around the shirts, and each person will be responsible for a size. We'll figure out how many we need,
10.
and I'll excel it to Chris.
this is a good plan.
I'm codependent. I can't do
All right,
this stuff
so
on my own.
what are the sizes?
Extra small, small, medium, large, extra large, double extra large.
I'll just do it all for you.
Okay,
I'll do it this week.
great.
I will figure out how many things.
The 84-year-old
already-
guy's name is Nicholas Romanov, but it's not that Nicholas Romanov.
It's
Whoa,
not that. There is
that's
no
weird.
way. I'm not
Like,
saying
I'm looking at
anything
his
against-
YouTube channel,
I get
and
it.
he's like, he's got 8 subscribers, and that's the only video posted.
I understand, but there's no way the pose method dude is pulling 400 pounds off the ground.
Oh, I agree. That's what I'm saying. It's not him. I thought you were arguing with me that it was him.
No.
Sorry.
No,
I should let you talk.
No,
I should
it's
stop
not.
talking over you.
I'm just saying, why are we? What's happening right now? Shirts. I took on the shirt responsibility. I got to put a note in my thing to make sure I do that.
And you know what's the worst part about this is I'm like, yes, you need to do that. You do the shirts, and the second you start doing the shirts, I'm gonna be like, no, don't order that many. Like it's
I'm
gonna.
not even going to tell you. I'm just going to send it. To
You're just gonna handle it.
He's just going to
Yeah.
Okay, not
You're
too
just
many
gonna
though.
Have a shit ton of shirts.
Not too many.
Someone's
What-
going to be like, what the fuck?
You sell me a dollar amount, and I'll get the shirts.
Okay,
How about that? How about that?
I'll get the shirts.
Elijah Landon wants to know if the sleeves fall off, if he can get reimbursed. And I said, nope, they're designed to fall off because sun's out, guns out.
If
They're made.
If you are running the Big Hill Pond,
He's going to be at Tunnel Hill.
I can't. If you're running Big Hill Pond or Tunnel Hill, and you see me, if you see me at the aid station at Big Hill Pond, especially if you see me anywhere at Tunnel Hill, I will personally give you a shirt and cut the sleeves off myself, but you have to show me your sugar wad.
That was the thing.
Yes.
That's
Remember?
You should do that,
Show
or
me your sugar wad.
you should buy a t-shirt cannon
Just shoot them.
and just blow it out.
Except we're going to find out, like, the ambulance goes flying by the, like, start-finish line. They're going to Vaughn's aid station because he nailed some runner coming off the trail. Catch!
All right, I've got a story, but I don't know what it says.
Well,
What do you mean?
There's an article that says how much the top athletes made at the CrossFit Games. Are y'all curious
I'd
to
like
know
to hear that. Yeah,
what that is?
I'm very curious.
And there's people are all up in arms about the sponsorship being canceled with Reebok.
Right.
Wasn't there a pretty good point made? I think you made the point, Thirsty, about the reason that some of that, maybe part of the reason was so that athletes could have other sponsors.
Yeah, so Glassman, he said he did a podcast interview with Julie Fouché, and he said in that basically by them having a title sponsor that requires an exclusive like wardrobe or equipment contract, that he's limiting the athlete's abilities to get sponsorships.
Right, you can't
And
wear my
so-
shoes at the games because you can only wear Reebok shoes.
Right.
At the games.
And so they finally lifted that like 2 years ago, where you had to wear Reebok like clothes, but you didn't have to wear Reebok shoes. And then now he said after 2020, they're going to let the title sponsorship go for a couple of years probably, just to see how it helps. But then he said he effectively said, or he insinuated that if they do sign on another one after that, it won't be to any kind of an exclusive.
Oh, it's going to be Nike.
I'm sure there are people that will just love to have their name on it, regardless of whether any athlete on the field is using or wearing their equipment or whatever.
I thought you said Nike,
Nike.
like slang. I was
Nike.
like, what's Nike mean? You think Nike's going to pick up the?
I wouldn't
CrossFit game?
surprise me if they. I mean, I don't know everything.
We'll
is-
see if CrossFit
everything-
exists in a couple of years.
If you'd have asked me a year ago, 2 years ago, I'd have been like, "Man, Nike needs to be in here now."
Yeah.
But
sure
now,
Nike,
who
I'm sure
knows,
Nike's
man?
already throwing hookers through
We
Class
may
1's
not-
window.
Yeah, we may not even have CrossFit Games next year. Who knows?
All right. The only difference this year in the amount paid out was a $15,000 increase awarded to the second place overall finisher. This means that the fittest on earth, Matt Frazier and Tia Claire Toomey, walked away with $300,000 for their overall win. Second place finishers Noah Olson and Kristen Holt took $115,000 home as their reward, and third place athletes Pagota Gadusmanson and Jamie Green earned $75,000.
Not a bad weekend of work.
First place in an individual event is $3,000, followed by $2,000 for second and $1,000 for third. This means Frazier, the weekend's top earner, took home an extra $22,000 after earning 6 event wins and 2 second place finishes at this year's game, bringing his total earnings to a cool $322,000. Tia Toomey added $15,000. So,
I want to know what these guys do. Like that's a lot of money for that one person, right? Like $300,000. But how does he pay does he have health insurance during the year? Like, does he have a family? Like, how does he eat? I'm sure he's got
Those
sponsors
guys have sponsors.
I know they have sponsors, but like sounds like a large amount of money, but that dude's not going to be winning these competitions
hopefully
in 3 years.
I mean, that's
You know
like
what I
any
mean?
professional athlete. Hopefully they're investing it for when they're not that professional athlete anymore.
Yeah, but $300,000 isn't like a
No.
NBA basketball player who makes
Right.
millions of dollars a year. that they can
especially
invest
for
in
the
these-
number one, the clear-cut number one in the world, and the best you're getting is
And
that.
I mean, I feel like I don't know if this is true or not, but that's his focus for throughout the year. It's not like he works a job. Like he's training like probably 3 times a day,
Yeah.
right? And then so he's got sponsors and
So he's got
whatnot.
sponsors. He gets that money and invests well. And he's got his girlfriend or fiance, and then he's got everything paid off at this point, I'm sure, in Cookville. So he doesn't really have bills. So he's probably
Right,
pretty
Say,
frugal.
if you're
I
if you're
just
smart
wonder,
like
like-
Froning, like you roll it into like you roll your sponsorships into creating mayhem. A gym he doesn't have to pay, like he probably pays the
Right.
rent.
No, they
like-
built his own. They built.
Well,
their
I know
own.
eventually. Okay, so he probably used winnings, but
Oh,
but
yeah.
over the years they were renting space. This
Right.
is like the 4th iteration that they're in now of the gym, but every time that he opened up a version of the gym, Rogue's like, "What do you want?" And he's like, "Whatever you want to give me."
I don't
and
feel
so
like
Rogue,
it's that way anymore. Like at that time when Rich Froning won the games, he was a rock star. Like people were so like into Rich Froning Jr. for that time when he was the individual. Nobody can beat Rich Froning. That, like you said, Rogue was just giving him what do you want? Like we'll give you whatever. Now I don't feel it's that way. Like I don't feel that way about Noah Olson or whatever. You know
Matt
what I mean?
Frazier.
Like it's Matt Frazier. Sorry, I drew a blank, but I don't even know his name.
Yeah,
You
right.
know-
Frazier's
you know what I mean?
Frazier's overall wealth is estimated over $1 million.
Doesn't he work as the Tennessee Tech baseball coach?
Huh,
If he
I've
did,
never
that's
heard
just
that.
something fun he's doing. I mean, that's not
So
his,
that's
that's not his
just-
But
living.
that guy's one guy, right? But what about the 4th and 5th place guys? And like
Now-
as you go down the chain, what are these guys doing in 10 years? 10 years from now, what's that guy's plan? You know?
A lot of them work. Doesn't Ben Smith? Is that his name? Ben Smith? Doesn't he have a full-time job and he just works out?
The redheaded pale guy was like some kind of doctor or engineer or something like that, like super into work. And
I think we're seeing more athletes that are actually having jobs and not just focusing on working out. I mean, of course, the ones that are probably going to win are the ones that work out 3 times a day and has no other thing
Yeah,
to
I
do.
mean, they
Yeah,
work for a
right.
gym. They probably like,
Own a gym or
and also
something.
you got to think like at the point that you get to a certain level, you've got a following, and then you can put out Brookends naked or whatever, training plans. Somebody else is probably doing all the work for
Oh, yeah,
you,
the guys,
and
yeah.
you're just putting your
Right.
name on it. Somebody built an app for you. Somebody built a website for you. Somebody did all this stuff, and she just got to put her name on it, and she's got a piece of the pie. And so, I mean,
And she's in some clothing brands. She's designed some workout clothes. She's kind of in the background doing stuff like that, but she doesn't work per se. You know, she doesn't have a job besides, you know, doing those things. And she's into acting now. She does acting roles. She's in a couple movies here and there.
is she the one that was in Wonder Woman?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. The short answer is I think a lot of these people do work until they get to a certain level, and then it's kind of like becoming a professional athlete or a professional musician. You have to make the decision that you're going full time to get to the next level. But
Right, but I can be a musician forever. Like, I can't be a CrossFit competitor forever.
But you got to hope that, I would think that, I mean, just like a professional athlete, you got to hope that you've got enough carryover to other things.
Right.
I don't know the answer.
I
mean,
don't. I don't either.
I still have to
that's
work.
That's my
I think it's a
opinion.
lack of exposure. I just haven't had the media exposure.
As big as this podcast is,
Yeah,
we're all
combined with my
working.
athleticism, you would think that somebody would have picked up on that by now.
We should just do
wonder.
a Facebook sponsored post that is the highlight film.
We should do that. That's
And
an
that way,
excellent
and that
idea.
way, more people would see it and they would understand.
Yeah.
There is a story that I saw about a guy who played football, and his name escapes me, but he just ran a touchdown. Are they playing football right now?
Yeah.
NFL?
Preseason.
But I'm so bad at anything besides NBA. But I don't know his name. I don't know who he plays for, but you'll probably know as I tell the story. But this kid started playing basketball, realized he was really good at football or something like that, walked on at these junior colleges, and ended up doing pretty well at return special teams, like returning punts or something like that, returning kickoffs. And he heard about an NFL tryout that was going on in his town or something, and he just went in there and pretended like he knew the coach, and ended up.
They'll have open combines.
They were
where you can-
like, "What are you doing here?" And one of his buddies had told him about this practice and said, "Hey, when you go in there, ask for this guy with a certain name." And he goes, so he did it. He was so convincing. When he went in there,
Fake it till you make it.
they were like, "Who are you?" And he was like, "Well, I'm so and so, and such said to come out here." And he was like, "Well, you're not on the list, but okay, whatever." So he let him in, and he walked over to the guy that he was supposed to talk to, who ended up being like the head coach of this NFL team. And he said, "All right, well, we don't know who you are, but you made it this far. Go on out there and try out." And he made the team. He did so well that he when he left, he said he got a call like the very next day from the coach. Said, "Okay, come back to the real tryout."
Scott Howell said Damon Cherry Giuseppe at the Cleveland Browns.
I
is
think
who you're
that's
talking
right.
about.
Wow.
And so he had just had a big moment like in the last couple of weeks because he
That just shows how desperate the Cleveland Browns have been, though.
Well, I mean, what I was going to say is this last couple of weeks, he got put in the game the first time or something and caught the ball and returned it all the way for a touchdown.
Had his Rudy
And, like,
moment.
Everybody
Nice.
was saying, like, this dude just, like, seriously faked it until he made it. Like, he lied
man.
to everybody and, like, just whatever. I thought that was kind of cool.
That's an awesome story. No, seriously. It's what's the Invincible movie with Mark Wahlberg is a similar story. Like the Eagles were doing so terrible that they did open tryouts, not foot and more as a media play than anything else. But like they had hundreds of people show up, and I can't think of what Mark Wahlberg's character's name was, but same situation. This was like in the 70s or early 80s, and he actually made the team and played for him for a couple years.
Well, it's just insane. Like, the fact that if you really wanted to be in the NBA, if you were really good, you could probably go do it.
You can try out.
know?
I mean, you can find somebody will watch you. I watched ESPN 30 for 30 on I can't remember what they called them. The people that filled in when the NFL went on strike.
Replacement players.
I think it was called The Replacements was the name of the
movie?
30 for 30.
Oh, okay.
And, these guys are living their dream. Like they get to go out there and, get the hell beat out of them by, NFL players.
Have you seen
the crowd hates them,
Have you seen the
for breaking the picket line?
Have you seen the Keanu Reeves movie, The Replacements?
No.
It's funny.
Is it a football movie?
It's about exactly what you're. Well, it's not.
Really?
it's not historically accurate. It's a fictional film, but it's the exact same situation. The players go on strike, so they hire in all these replacement players, and Keanu Reeves is like a has-been college quarterback or whatever, and but they bring him in and blah 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 blah.
We need to have
pretty funny
Keanu Reeves on this show. He's like the nicest dude. I would love to talk to that guy, and I bet he would come and sit on this couch right here if we asked him.
If we could get, well, you just need to act like you know him. You
Yeah.
need to follow this
Just
guy.
like the NFL player did.
Fake it till you make it.
do
You
that.
just need to act like you know him, and
You got to chase your dreams like that, man. Wear the black shirt.
I mean, he just keep the black shirt on, whatever you do. I mean, he's found
distraction.
he might enjoy a trip to Byhalia, Mississippi.
Yeah, hey, you never know when you're going to be in Byhalia, Mississippi. We've all been there at one point in time or the other.
That's right.
Especially everybody in this room.
I watched a really good documentary. I'm going to tell you about it. The Westside Barbell documentary on Netflix.
All right.
Everybody needs to watch it.
Westside Barbell documentary on Netflix.
Yes. I'm not
Okay.
sure if it's called Westside Barbell,
I'll find it. Doesn't matter.
but it is so good, man.
So does it just follow Louis Simmons around, or what is it?
Yeah,
do?
it's his story.
Yeah.
that?
And Vaughn probably knows more about him than I do.
No, I don't.
Okay.
I
Well,
don't.
he
I
just
haven't
started.
seen that
He
documentary.
just started basically a dirtbag gym with really strong people, and it became like the place to be.
Cool.
To where you can't just walk in there. Like you got to be either invited or you got to work your way in. And these dudes are nuts, man. These old school guys talking about living in their car. Just doing anything they can to train at that place. He said that the weights were welded onto the bar, so if you couldn't do 245 pounds of anything, there was nothing for you to do.
Oh, you
at
had
the-
to be able to
at
do
the gym.
245.
That's
awesome.
that's the
That's
minimum
awesome.
buy-in.
That's awesome.
And these guys
So I should stay home.
were animals, dude. I mean, they're all, all the nosebleeds and
Yeah.
breaking of backs and.
I think Chris Moore went up
Interesting.
there and trained. If I'm not mistaken, I'm gonna have to go back and
Really?
look, but
I could only
I
deadlift
think
and
he
back
spent
squat
some
there.
time there, yeah.
I can come deadlift and back squat every day.
I'd like to squat once on your welded bar.
Well, it
please.
motivated you certainly because you were at the gym this morning and you got
Hell,
this new bro session
Yes.
going on now.
Yes, I do. Program. We got a plan and everything.
Where'd the plan come from?
Straight out of the UK.
I thought you were going to say lift heavy, run long.
Max Kenny Herbert.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yep. And so I got my boy Ernest.
Yes.
And now, is that an actual former teammate or just somebody
Yes.
who also went to Germantown?
Yes, he's an actual former teammate.
Cool.
We locked horns every single day. He was a sophomore when I was a senior, so we were apart from one another. This dude is so unbelievably strong and unbelievably quick for a big man. You've never seen anything like it.
He wears our shirts all the time. Like you'll see him on Instagram wearing LHRL shirts.
He is constantly smiling. He's got like the nicest, most pleasant demeanor about him.
I went up and like kind of bro hug with him this morning. I realized that's the first time I ever met this guy. But I felt like
I felt like you've
I
met
don't-
him.
Maybe I have.
I think you
but
have.
Like I feel like I know him just because he just looks like a person you just want to go up and, hey, you're my buddy.
Yeah.
You know.
Well, he's that. And when he said, when I watched this Westside Barbell, I was like, I'm calling Ernest. Like, I'm getting in touch with Ernest. And when he said, I'll do it, I was like, that's everything I needed right there. So we're in there getting ready to work out this morning, and we're getting some percentages. And, I'm loading up my
72.45%.
my squat stuff. And I'm like, the last time I squatted was, X amount of weight. But I really am probably down to about this. And he's like, yeah, I don't really know what I am. The last time I squatted, it was 600, but I didn't go all the way down. So I'm going to do it at 575.
Oh, my God.
We're going to do separate bars. So you're going to be over here. I'm going to be over here. I've watched the guy's front squat like 450, over 400 pounds.
So what does he do for a living now?
He is I don't know if he owns his own insurance
Insurance is good
agency.
answer.
Successful guy.
Okay.
Works really hard.
Well, I'm excited because there's really nice equipment in the gym. That not a lot of people use. It's really nice. Like if you want to be if you're a power lifter, there's some nice shit in there.
Yeah.
If your goal is
people don't
better
really take advantage of.
if
Yeah.
your goal is to get better at powerlifting or Olympic lifting, Like
Yeah.
OBCF
Olive Branch
probably has some of
CrossFit
the
is-
best equipment in the
You
city.
can't
for that.
get any better. I mean, it is the best equipment.
Well, I left there
Hey, we
this
do
morning
CrossFit too.
just feeling on top of the world. And my first thought
Was today your first session with
Yeah.
him? I'm sorry.
yeah,
Go ahead.
and
Go
tomorrow will be my second.
Okay.
And we're going to be 4 days a week.
Okay.
And it's going to be awesome. And then my first thought is, like, we got to get the band back together. Like, I got to get in touch with these high school guys and turn this into, like, we need to be having Gator Iron up here.
Well, yeah, so you guys start training now, and then maybe by like senior day, senior football day at Germantown, like they'll bring you guys out there and you guys can like run
It's
a play
brilliant.
against
Red
the,
Devil Barbell.
Yep. Yep.
Red Devil Barbell.
Red
Make
Devil
it a thing.
Barbell. Gator Iron.
Go follow
would be
that
the
dream.
name
What
of
is
it.
What's the Gator significant?
Get after their ass red.
Oh, okay.
That's been around for a long time. GATAR.
Gator Barbell.
It could be something.
Scott Hollis said the guy you were talking about, the Cleveland Browns, is going to get a wild card invite to the 2020 CF Games.
Everybody will hate him.
As long as they have.
How did the obstacle course guy do?
He was out like after the second.
The first
event.
cut?
Yeah.
Like whatever the first.
He didn't make it to the one where they ran.
I didn't watch it all.
Oh,
Like, so I knew
That was
I knew
the
they did cuts on day one.
Third wave.
It was the third. It was the third one.
Yeah.
So I think he did the first two. I don't think he did very well, and then he missed it. Because I wanted to see him do the weighted vest run. So
Yeah.
I was like, man, that dude
That
probably
might
do
be
real
his jam.
good.
Might be his
but
jam, yeah.
and he wasn't in it. So anyway, but that was fun. I watched almost the entire games, and it's the first time I've done that in years. I really enjoyed it.
And this is probably the first time in 5 or 6 years that I haven't watched a single second of the games.
Yeah,
I've never paid much attention to it.
man, I loved it this year. I was real excited about it for whatever reason.
I got fired up
I watched a little bit of
about
it.
Hunter McIntyre because Sam Renfro turned me on to him, and he just seemed like a funny guy. I sent him a message on Instagram saying if he wanted to send me his address, I'd send him some swag.
I haven't watched a bunch. He seems like a pretty arrogant dude. Like he's pretty confident.
I think I like his style. I don't take
Yeah.
it as arrogant as much as I think he's funny. And,
Maybe so, yeah.
And he's so just like blatantly. Obviously, it's not like me talking trash, but I feel like he's got more of it. Just like I'm a trash talker.
Yeah, I mean, he was definitely. I watched the video.
Some people hate him, but the people that
I
know
can
him
see
seem to
that.
really like him.
Yeah, I watched the video where he was like, "Yeah, I'm going to go to the CrossFit Games. I deserve to be there. I'm going to win. I deserve to be there. I'm better than all of them." like, okay.
Yeah, I think that's kind of his thing.
I mean, I guess you have to be that way to a certain degree if you're going to do something like that. So more power to him. I just thought it was funny to me because I was like, wow, okay, this guy's going to go kick some ass.
Sam Renfro likes him, so I like him.
That's fair.
So
enough.
we're like best friends. But if he doesn't respond to my Instagram, then I'm going to be heartbroken.
I don't know why I won't come be on this podcast.
What about Keanu Reeves? He hadn't responded. You asked him
I
like
just texted
30
him.
minutes ago.
Just now.
Just texted.
Crystal posted something really interesting on Facebook. 100 years ago in 1919, Fred Knight of Philadelphia combined ultra running with golf. Did you read that?
Nope.
Nope.
I don't know anything about it.
Playing marathon golf. He played 8 rounds of golf, 144 holes in a single day. Walking, running about 35 miles with the requirement to average less than 85 strokes per round. He established a new American record in marathon golf with an elapsed time of 13 hours, 35 minutes.
85 strokes a round? That's pretty good.
That's a good golf game, and to do that
Yeah.
And he did it 8 times.
8 times while running from ball to ball.
I've only broken 100 like a couple of times.
And not to be even remotely sarcastic, but at that time, golf carts weren't around, like because we're talking about 1919. So,
Well, we're also talking about him doing an ultra marathon, so he can't be on a golf cart.
oh, true story.
The whole point of the story is that he's running the damn
okay,
thing.
We're really
so-
fact checking some Thursdays this week.
So,
You
my,
made us
I guess
mad last week.
my epiphany wasn't more that he was walking, although it kind
He's
of was.
running.
Whatever. It's that he's carrying golf clubs with him.
Yeah,
So that's
and
impressive.
hitting golf
That's
balls,
a lot of golf to play.
and then
in
running more. for 13 hours.
For 13 hours.
Have you ever walked 18 holes of golf? You're exhausted when you get done.
I'm usually,
I have never walked 18
I'm usually
holes of golf.
exhausted after driving.
I was going to say,
Uh-huh.
using the cart is enough for me.
Yeah.
Yep. Played pretty much nonstop with 8 station breaks totaling about an hour to eat breakfast and dinner.
Huh.
He averaged about 1 stroke per minute, drove the ball out of bounds 5 times and into a creek 5 times with only 2 birdies. It was thought that this record would last for years, but later in 1919, Eddie Stiles started the golfing world when he played 10 rounds, 40 miles in a single day, averaging less than 80 strokes per round. Their efforts kicked off the bizarre sport of marathon golf.
I wonder if Tiger Woods did that. Would it be just like, would he do like 20 rounds in a day?
Do you think he's a runner?
He's a hell of an athlete. I mean, I'm just thinking, like, if he
What about John Daly? How do you think he would do?
I don't know. Not as well.
Did they let John Daly ride in the cart? You know that there was the whole issue about him applying for a special thing where he would get to use a cart at a golf tournament.
I find that hard to believe because it was, and I'm not going to remember the guy's name or anything, but there is
You find what hard to believe?
that they would let him do it.
Yeah.
15 years ago, there was a guy who had a medical condition where he could walk. I'm having trouble remembering.
I remember the guy.
He
I remember the
he
situation.
could walk the course, but like this was a case where he also had to carry his clubs, and because of his medical condition, he couldn't walk in, carry the clubs or something. Like I can't remember like what the specifics were, and they would not give him a medical exemption, for it. So
They're pretty
it would
strict.
it would surprise me that because that would give John Daly a huge advantage.
Oh, yeah.
Of not having to walk the course, not having to be out in the sun, and all the other things. Like, I would just find that hard to believe that they.
I don't know.
give
He would
him
probably
the medical
also get
exemption.
more drunk and smoke more cigarettes.
He'd just have a wet bar set up in his cart.
right?
Have you
Go either
seen
way.
Have you seen the 30-30 on him?
I don't think I have.
It's
Dude,
good.
It's
I
fantastic.
bet it is.
It's fantastic. And he's very clear about his style. Like the opening 30 seconds, he's like,
Well, he's from Memphis, right?
I'm
he's
I'm
from
this age,
Arkansas, I
I'm
think
this
it-
kind of guy.
Why John Daly gets to ride in a cart at the 2019 PGA Championship.
So they're going to let him.
So apparently it did happen. This is from May. Like maybe it already did happen. When was the PGA Championship?
last week. What are you talking about? Was it? The
Well, I know Tiger
St.
Woods
Jude
made a comment,
FedEx one?
had an opinion, and people were on to Tiger Woods about that opinion because now he's not allowed to have any opinions ever again. Because that's the world we live in.
PGA of America granted Daly permission to use a card at Bethpage Black because of osteoarthritis in his right knee that he says prevents him from walking more than 6 holes at a time.
Uh-huh.
Daly filed his request under the American with Disabilities Act and is the first player to ride a card in the majors since Casey Martin in the 2012 U.S. Open. Okay, so this is a precedent that's already been set.
So they did let that dude do it in 2012? I don't know if that's the same guy. I don't think they let the guy that you were talking about do it.
Casey Martin in 2012. Martin endorsed Daly's use of the cart. I'm happy for him because I know John a little bit, and I know for certain that he's not trying to get an advantage. He just wants to play in a tournament he has a rich history in. He just wants to be a part of the action. I'm grateful that he's going to get the chance. Daly has a lifetime exemption into the PGA Championship
Yeah.
thanks to a legendary title at 1991 at Crooked Stick.
That guy can hit a golf club. You know, he is a total redneck. And the reason that he swings the clubs the way that he does, he said they didn't have any money, so when he was a kid, he only had the clubs that his dad had. He didn't have his own clubs. And so they're so heavy, the weight of it pulled it all the way back like that. So that's just how he learned to hit a golf ball was, with the backswing coming 30% longer than most people's do.
And he was just reading books. So he didn't have anybody to watch.
You need to watch it.
I do need to watch that. I bet that's interesting. I could hang out with that dude for sure.
Oh,
At
man.
least for a
dude?
little bit. John
Ooh.
Daly.
Daily.
Oh, John Daly, yeah.
Yeah.
I don't. I don't think you could go out with him. I don't think you could survive one night out
During
with
the
him.
day.
I was gonna say I don't think you could survive
You
one
could
night
do
out
it.
with him.
You could do it.
I could.
During the
You
day.
could do it.
I've been training for this my whole life.
So you say you can and he can't. Do you consider yourself a lightweight on some level? Is that what you're saying, or no?
I don't know.
Do you consider yourself a heavyweight?
Yes.
Yeah. All right.
I mean, I'm not saying I'm pro level by
Yeah.
any stretch. I mean, I joke about it, but
You like to
I'd
drink.
I could give him a run for his
He
money.
drinks a little.
I can give him a run for his money.
He likes a little drink. Nothing wrong with that. I got no problems with that. 5 things to know about, how do you say this guy's name? Eliud Kipchoge's attempt to go the sub-2 marathon.
We're gonna go with that pronunciation.
5 things to know about Eliud Kipchoge.
You stuck with it. Good job.
There we go. Consistency. The INEOS challenge will not count as a world record. Did you know that?
I don't even know who we're talking about right now.
The guy that's going to try to do the Nike
Oh, they're making
sub-2
another
marathon.
sub-2 attempt.
It
Okay.
will not count.
and Inogi Kipchoge is the guy that's going
Yeah,
to do
but
it.
well, and that's the thing. Like Nike has said all along, like we're not expecting any of these attempts to like stand as a record. We want to prove that the human body is capable
Yeah.
of sub-2, and so they're setting up perfect conditions.
Right.
It's like you get to run behind a car that's blocking all the wind, and you get like these other pacers in front of you that are, you know, that you're basically drafting off of. Like they're creating perfect conditions for it to happen, including the shoe. I mean, some people say the shoe is a little bit of a cheater shoe, but you know, at the end of the day, they just want to prove.
$250 pair of shoes.
Yeah, they just.
It'll be a $500 pair of shoes if he
Once
breaks
he makes
the
it, right?
record.
What's the shoe called? Do you know?
Oh,
I can tell you.
The
'Cause I tried on some
Kipchoge?
funky Nike shoes
I
at the
think
running
Mark Fortune
store.
wears them.
Yeah, okay, then that's what Didn't you buy a pair of those?
I bought a pair of Nikes.
It's the
They
Nike
weren't
Zoom
like-
X Vaporfly.
Yeah, that's
They
it.
have like a weird V at the back, and they kind of come up. I tried them
they've
on.
got I can't remember. I think it's plastic. They've got like a plastic piece that runs through the sole, so that when you land on it, it actually reverberates back and pushes you back off the ground. So as you're running, so it's like pre-flexed, and so when you push it down, it wants to push back at you and helps you move forward.
Yeah, I like that.
I like that too.
But they're literally only good for like 200 miles. So you don't train in them, you race in them
Yeah.
because the sole just wears out.
That's
really,
Wilson
really
style.
quickly.
My shoes are good for about 30.
He puts on his new shoes before he takes off for a race.
My shoes I wear for like 5 years.
I do too. I wear the shit out of them. And it's like one day I'm like, these don't feel good anymore. Probably need to get a new pair. I went back to my Mizunos.
It's that dead.
How many miles per week you think Kipchoge's running?
100.
120.
90?
Between 124 and 140. What is that? 20 a day? Okay. That's a lot of miles.
11 a day.
20 a day.
I was surprised. It's the guy that asked if he could run 1,000 miles in 90 days. And it's 11 miles a day.
It's a lot.
Okay, the guy that was talking about running 1,000 miles a day. This brings up a topic that like triggers me. The term "why though," like when anybody says I did this and somebody responds "why though,"
Yeah, okay.
that drives me crazy. My first instinct is just to remove them from the group. Whoever says that, I think
Well,
that's
I think it's a trolling commentary. You know, it's kind of like ate a whole pizza. Why though? You know, it's just kind of a like cool story, bro. But why?
I thought about it, man. I thought about it for like a split second, and I was like, there's no way I could run 11 miles every day. What does that take, 2 hours? Hour and a half?
I think if the negativity goes beyond that, it's probably worth removing over. My 2 cents. But that is just a funny trolling comment. Like,
Well, y'all better watch
and
out.
and
I'll just-
Sarcastic comment.
the post itself is fishing in a way like
Yeah.
anybody else run. Yeah, a whole shitload of people have run, just tons of us. You know, what do I do for recovery? Well, you probably know how to recover pretty well if you were able to keep it together.
That guy just wants everybody to know.
Yes,
that he's
right.
And there's nothing wrong with that. I do the same thing when I take a stupid video of myself doing stupid box squats at a stupid gym and put it on Instagram.
That's his humble brag way of saying
exactly
I'm going to do 1,000 miles in 90 days.
I have no problem with that guy going, hey, man, anybody else run 1,000 miles in 90 days? I do the same damn thing. Like I do it every single day of my life. So I can't.
Though?
I'm not going to complain.
Why though?
Because I need you to look at it and go, I think you're awesome.
I'm with you, dude.
You know.
Oh, that's funny.
But sometimes you really want to know the why behind something. Like, why would somebody do that? And after they say it, it's like, oh, that's a really valid.
Yeah, but
I feel like somebody like, of course,
there's a
I
less
know you're a little
triggering
bit better.
way.
I can see you saying, I would be interested to know
Right, that's
why you
are
would
you
do
doing
that.
Yeah,
this?
there's a less triggering
why,
way
though?
of asking the genuine question than saying why though.
Oh, okay.
But clearly, I might be a little bit sensitive to that statement. So, no, I will not kick people off for that.
I will. I just kick people off at random. Like if
pick a
someone
number.
complains, I just will remove
card.
you out.
You need to send a T-shirt to anybody that says why though, like
I'll
that
cut
just
the
proves
sleeves-
that they listen to the
Cut the
podcast.
sleeves off and send you a shirt.
Why though?
But I will kick some
We'll
people
send you
out
a shirt
I
and
don't
kick
know.
you out of the group.
Thanks for playing. Here's your consolation prize.
It's so easy. All you have to do, if someone reports something and you go, remove this, Facebook pops up a box and says, remove this post and ban user. And it's just like the default.
It gives you so much power.
It's easy. It's just like, oh, you're gone.
Options of what you want to do with them. It's like, which cage do you want to put them in?
Right.
Like, you can...
Are they in timeout?
They 7
Are they
days,
permanently
14
banned?
days, 20. Do you want to just mute them?
I don't have time to think about it. I just gagged.
Get the
You know?
fuck out.
And we don't even ask people questions when they join the group. They
Nope.
just join the group.
That's right.
Like, I don't have to answer
Join
any
the
stupid
group.
questions.
Don't
I
be a
had
dick.
to ask questions. I mean, I had to answer like 3 or 4 questions to join the Parks and Rec and Office group. It's really weird.
That's
They
the way
want to prove
most...
that you're a fan and you're not there. But and basically what they do, like nobody's checking those answers. It's just to prove that you're not like some troll that's going to pop in there, leave some troll response, or post an ad for something you're trying to sell
Yeah.
or whatever, and then pop out. That's
I
all
had
they're
some really
trying
good
to accomplish.
answers. That makes me sad.
If Amanda sees something that can be filled out,
Oh, I love
she
it.
loves it.
I love
Any
surveys.
survey,
3
any-
questions. First answer is what. Second answer is the. Third answer is fuck. Click
I
submit.
love it when the kids came home with their yearly like emergency contact, all that. Fill this out.
Oh,
I love
goodness.
it. I love it.
Grayson's like, Dad, can you? I'm like, nah, nothing. Don't come to me for all that. Goes to Amanda. Anything that involves like your
Yeah.
future
Holly does all that.
goes to Amanda. I don't even touch it.
But yeah, any kind of survey. I love surveys.
Oh, I hate it. Amanda has to like address my envelopes. Like I
Oh,
can't
yeah.
even. My handwriting
comes
is
to me
so
sweating.
bad. It's even worse. It's gotten worse as I've gotten older. I can't use a pen. I don't know how. We're out of time.
I hand
We
wrote a
are out
note
of
today.
time.
You did
I hand wrote a note today.
a
That
nice
is
note.
awesome.
That
You
is
know,
awesome.
I think that's the best thing you can do.
I do too.
I
If you
love
wanna
sending
if
cards
you really
and
want to
stuff.
make an impact on somebody, handwrite a
That's,
note.
and that's
Yeah.
exactly
'Cause
why I
we
did
just
it.
don't do that anymore.
That's exactly why I did it.
You know?
I hand wrote a note, and for exactly that. Like, and I've got serial killer handwriting. Like, it's horrible, but I hand wrote it.
And it meant a lot to you, and then you give it to them, and they're like, "What the fuck does this say?"
I have no idea what he just said.
I'm somewhere.
That's
going to
mean a lot to
and
somebody.
doctor.
That's going to mean a lot to somebody.
Yeah.
That's really cool.
I don't
Yeah,
write.
that's
I don't
awesome.
write enough notes. That's for sure.
Drew Womack came over here with the Christmas present about 3 years ago, and that's what he had done. Instead of giving crap to people like we do, he decided to,
He wrote a sincere letter
To
about
write-
why he loved us and
That
our
is a
friendship.
fantastic.
and I've
idea.
got it in my Dropbox. I've got the original copy. I've got the
Has he
photo
ever been on
copy.
the show?
Yeah, he was
Yes.
he's one of the OGs.
He
dude.
went up to the
we-
Grayson's room
Yeah.
while y'all were downstairs.
when we were trying to figure out how to use Google Hangouts.
Oh my goodness!
The three of
Wow,
us,
that
like,
was a long time
on
ago.
3 different computers.
We need to do that again. He is a good guy.
Lift heavy, run long. Number 158
8.
is in the books.
Boom.
Have a good weekend, everybody.